Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and I have another Pampered Pets project to share with you. So this month I'm really excited to feature this stamp set because it couldn't be more fun, and cards that move. So let me show you the one we're going to do now. It is a flip-flop card. So you use your dies to die cut a flip-flop that actually turns, so you can use the back and the front of this dog set, which are both included in the stamp set, which, I mean, could it be more perfect? So there's lots of other uses for it. If you have a stamp set that has sort of a before and an after idea, or like a sequence of steps kind of idea, or honestly just pretty flowers that you could see two different versions of them, this is a great card to do. So there are some tips and tricks for making it. It's really not as difficult as it might seem. And I will tell you though, I made mine like 3 times the first time. I hadn't done this card for years, and there are some very much older versions of it on my blog, so you can check those out with other retired stamp sets. But I made it wrong 3 times, so make sure you watch so that you can see what I did wrong, so that you can save yourself some cardstock. So, all right, ready? Let's get stamping. So I have our pieces ready to go. This card is built on just a regular half sheet of cardstock. So you're going to go ahead and score it in half at 4 1/4, and you're going to score the front half in half at 2 1/8. And basically you're going to get this, okay? So let's pretend you can see the scores there. Okay, so then you need a die that is going to give you like a swing element, okay? So for this, I absolutely love the stitch shapes. You could do the oval, you could do the square, the circle is absolutely perfect for it. So what I'm doing now is I'm centering this on the front of my card and centering it on that score line that I put in the middle. Now the trick to getting this card to cut is that you need to cut only this side, not this side. And you're like, wait, how do you get a die to cut only in half? Well, the way you do that is you do it by putting pressure only on the half that you want. So I'm gonna line this up just like this, so you can see that there's gonna be no pressure on this side of my die. There's only gonna be pressure on this side because that's the only place that the sandwich is thick enough to cut. Okay, so I'm going to run this through. Now a note, if you have beveled edges on your cutting plates, make sure that you can see kind of where the actual plate is going to be the cutting line. The bevel's not going to do anything to cut. So I'm going to run this through, and then when I take this off, I have my die, which has cut only on this half. Now you'll notice that I went a teeny bit over on this one. That's really not a big deal, because it's still going to work. So then I'm going to fold the back of my card over, and I'm going to fold the front of my card over. Okay, so now when I pull on this, my panel flips front to back. Now you're wondering, okay, Meg, that's great. That really didn't look too difficult. How did you do it wrong 3 times? So I'll show you how I did it wrong 3 times. So this looks kind of here, I'll show them this way, looks kind of the same, right? But basically on this one, I cut so that the cut line is out here at the leading edge of the card. But on this one, I cut the wrong half. I cut the tailing edge. And it's still cute, right? It's still a cute card. And actually you might want to do this version because you might want to only stamp this image once, and you might want to have it show up when you have your card open. So see how this one never turns. It stays oriented the same way. So we'll call it a useful mistake, right? There's no such thing as a mistake. It's just a creative opportunity. But this one, which we're going to do now, actually shows you both the front and the back. So here, we'll go ahead and stick this down so that you can see it very nicely. This version of the card shows the front and the back of the piece. So here's the front and here's the back, okay? So if you get this card made and you think, wait, what was she? It doesn't really matter. They're both great, but this one is the one you want if you want the front and the back of your swing panel to show, okay? All right, so that being said, we've got our card base done, and then I am going to give you some coloring tips for coloring these fun dogs. So I have my dog front here. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp him, and then I didn't get my other out. I need my back of my stamp. Oh, which reminds me to share a fun tip with you. So if you are have the red rubber cling stamps, and sometimes you're worried if there's a stamp set with a lot of little pieces in it that you're going to lose elements from it. Like you'd put it away and you'd miss that there was one out someplace, and then suddenly you wouldn't have your dog bowl anymore. It's terrifying, right? Okay, maybe not terrifying, but just annoying. One of the things that makes it really easy to know exactly what you've got is to take the top layer from red rubber. So when your red rubber stamps come, they have the paper layer on one side and the red rubber layer on the other side. Just peel your paper, pull off that backing piece. Sometimes I do a better job than others. This one's a little torn. But then you can slide it into the space between your stamp case and your plastic backing. And then you know exactly where the stamp go. And when you go to close your stamp set up and put it away on the shelf, you know that you have all the dogs returned to their proper places. So no dogs can escape. So I don't know about you. We have an escape artist dog at our house. Her name is Pepper. She very much likes to go and see what's going on outside. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this guy here. I think he fits. Does he fit? Well, if he doesn't, I'll have to, nope, he didn't fit. That's fine. We'll stamp him over again. And we'll take this guy and put him on a different piece of paper. Does he fit here? He does. There we go. Okay, so now we have our two dogs stamped in Memento. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends to do my coloring. So I have Smoky Slate, and we'll put this here so you can kind of see the before and after of the coloring. Smoky Slate and Flirty Flamingo, which I love for this suite. And I'm going to start off with my light of the Smoky Slate. So this is one of my favorite ways to do really quick coloring using the Stampin' Blends. And I just do it in 2 steps. So it's 2-step Stampin' Blends, very simple. Simple 2-step Stampin' Blends? I don't know, something like that. So basically what I'm doing is I'm giving him like a once-over color wash with the lighter color. And sometimes on this, you could even choose to leave like a really light spot that you don't color at all, just like a highlight. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to use the darker of the two, and I am going to give him some shadows. So any place where his legs kind of overlap, that is going to be a shadow spot. And any place kind of at the bottoms of his paws where they hit the ground, that's going to be a shadow spot underneath his tail. And then on the color here lines, which are any place where Stampin' Up artists who drew this stamp set give you like these little wispies, that I call a color here line. And those are going to be darker too. So under his ears, the place where his ear flaps over, maybe around his little nose. Okay. All right, so that now gives us a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to go back with my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm actually going to just use the dark markers. There's so little space that it's not that big a deal. So again, you can, if you're done watching me color, you can fast forward, but we're going to pretty much use the same set of tricks here. So once over, and with my light. Now this image has a lot more color here lines on it, so that kind of gives us a little bit more guidance. And these images are going to be cut. The dog facing forward has a die cut, and the dog facing backwards also has a die cut. So we're not going to worry too much about the areas underneath. All right, so we'll do our dark Smoky Slate, and remember all those color here lines, okay? Gonna do the color here lines, and then we're gonna go back and we are going to catch him kind of at the edges and where his ears flop over, and maybe a little bit there where his ears attach, maybe right here under his collar. Okay. And voila. Let's see, there we have our shaded dog. Okay. So really simple. I know that if we're kind of evaluating our own coloring, we tend to look at that and be like, there's like really stark lines between the light color and the dark color. But you know what? This is kind of like a cartoon stamp set, and cartooning is super easy. It doesn't have a lot of blending. It's the first color and the second color. So I say, embrace it, right? All right, so we have our cats. Oh, I have a couple cats here too, in case you haven't seen those before. Very cute. And you can also add the little trinkets to the dog if you want to. I actually have a trick for how to get those added. So make sure you watch my flip-flop video. Let's see. Make sure you, double Z-fold video, and that double Z-fold is here, and I will go through exactly how to add that little trick on the front. So we're going to use our dies. I'm going to go ahead and run these through my die cutting machine and through the magic of television. Ta-da! We have them die cut. So here are our cute dogs to use for this project. You can get the dies off my fingers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab our card here, and I'll go ahead and go through putting these on. Now, you can just go ahead and attach these if you want to. If you prefer, you can give them kind of a shadow underneath by just coloring a little bit with your Flirty Flamingo marker. You can kind of see, can you see a little bit that I gave this guy kind of a base to sit on so he wasn't floating so much. So I'll go ahead and do that. The other thing you want to do if you're giving it a base is you want to make sure that you're mounting him on the same place on the front and the back, because Stampin' Blends go right through your paper. So now I'm going to flip this over and give him a little bit of shadow here where he's going to sit on this side of my card too. Okay. All right. So we got that kind of set. I'm going to pop Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of each of these guys and go ahead and put them where they belong. You can see the stuff here kind of on the back too. Now you want to make sure that you don't overlap the swing here. If you overlap the swing arch, then you're going to have a hard time getting your card to open and close, but we have plenty of space for this guy. Then we have our greeting here, which I'm going to stamp in Memento Black. Hope your day is a real treat, which pretty much is all happy occasions, right? You could do birthdays, you could do anniversaries, you could do special events, you could do anything where someone's celebrating their special day. And then I'll just go ahead and add some hearts here and go ahead and attach this. Now, this is tricky, right? Think about where your card is going to sit and make sure you put adhesive only on the part that is going to be available to you. Because if you put it on the other part, it's gonna seal your card shut. So the other thing you can't do is you can't overlap the swing of your card there. So you got to keep your greeting just a little bit lower. Okay. All right. I then want to add just a little bit of decoration, and I'm going to do that with the balloon punch. And balloons, of course, are a fabulous, happy all occasion addition to lots of cards. So I think I only used 3, but I've punched 4 here. And the one of the great things about Stampin' Up is that supplies come in suites. You can order the suite collection, which includes the designer series paper, the trim, the little trinkets with the hearts and the bones, the stamps and the dies, and the suite collection is available with just one ordering number, so it makes it really simple. So I'm going to use the trim here because it coordinates, and I'm going to use this fun striped baker's twine. And I'm just going to clip myself 3 little pieces to go with our balloons. And I know I punched 4, but I kind of like to do things in odd numbers artistically when I'm adding like embellishments and flowers and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my 3. I'll put the 4th one. Do you ever put like extra punched pieces and like extra colored little elements that you've done? I just put them back in my stamp case. Do you ever do that? So that next time I open it, it's like a happy surprise. Oh, I wanted to use that dog and I already have one colored. How fun. All right. So now wherever you put these balloons, you have to think about the adhesive because you can't have it show. The adhesive has to be limited to only the edge of the card. In other words, you can't have the Stampin' Dimensional come across, okay? So I'm going to pop these balloons here. I have one more. I'm going to pop way out here. Let's see. This one actually might be problematic. Where's my other little punched? Oh, see, I already put it away in my case. But I need it because I want the smaller balloon. Punch one more. I forgot kind of that I can't have this balloons here. So if I put the big balloon here, it would overlap the swing and then it would could interfere with the functioning of my card. So I'm gonna switch it up and use the smaller balloon, and I'll just put the other balloon in my case for later. And then this one fits really nicely here at the end. It doesn't interfere with that element. And we have our fun blues. Oh, you know what? I can't not use it. So I'm just gonna pop it on the inside. Ah, fine, I used it. All right, so be sure to leave a comment if you find it easy to save extra elements, or if you're like, no, I have to use this on this card, I can't put it away. Anyway, I look forward to hearing what you think. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future cards. Also, make sure you look for the link in the description that includes the other Playful Pets videos that I shared this month, including the double Z fold and the slider card, look at that guy, and the 3D pop-up cube, triple pop-up 3D. I always forget what this is called. So anyway, lots of fun cards that move this month. So look for those links in the description. And if you need supplies for any of these pieces, of course, they're available through my online store. Bonus being you get the printable PDF for the projects this month if you order from my store in July. And if you order at least $50, you will get LovenStamps card kits to go, which means in your mailbox you will receive the pieces to make these 2 cards, all pre-cut for you and ready to go so that you can go ahead and add your own stamps and ink pads and make these cards. So on my website, I always talk about the card kits to go, and I always feature like a limited set of supplies so that you really can use what you've got. So the only ink pads included in these projects are Flirty Flamingo and Memento Black. The only markers included are the Stampin' Blends and Smoky Slate and Flirty Flamingo. Just one stamp set, limited cardstock colors, all those kinds of things that I really am excited when I see people stamping at home, and I try to make it easy for you to go ahead and follow directions and have a limited set of supplies and lots of ideas for them. So let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to sharing more projects with you this month. And yeah, happy stamping, and thanks so much for watching.